Hello, it's me, Art of Singularity, and welcome to my new video. In this video, I'm going to be drawing a single illustration, just drawing a body, trying to see if I can, get better at least a little bit. The artist today is Torisanff, Final Fantasy 14. So yeah, look at this pose. It's like a kind of a low angle shot. More, I guess the emphasis is on the hips area and I guess the abs, so that's good. I've been trying to study that anyways, so let's see what I can do. For this drawing specifically, I'm going to start with the head. Sometimes I start with the body, but for today, I'll start with the head. Sometimes I start with the body. I've been finding a lot of luck lately with starting with the head, so I'll continue with that until it fails me for whatever reason. The head is kind of facing towards us. I'm gonna change it slightly. Like I always say, I never try to copy the reference, one for one. There's always a slight difference. So we have the oval shape of the head kind of. I've already brought in the chin, I guess, so there's not really any need to do anything else with that. I'll bring in the air like there. Okay, there we go. Let me see. Now the neck. I'm gonna just go with the neck. I don't really need to go into any details with the face just yet. For right now, the only important thing is the shapes, the basic forms. So I'm going to bring in the collarbone. That's essentially where the middle of the body is. Now I'm gonna bring in the center line, which is gonna be heading something like that. I'm gonna now bring in the side of the body. Wrap it over here. I do this just to mark sort of where the other, this part of the body is, the side of the rib. I guess this is what I'm doing, the ribs. Bring that in just to mark where the ribs are. I'm gonna bring the center line in again. If we look at the actual reference, we can see that it's kind of going all the way over here. So we're probably going to be bringing, and we also have to keep in mind, this is from above. So any lines, everything is extending towards us. It's growing. So I suppose the hips will probably be there. I'm gonna assume the crotch is somewhere here. Now that we have where the crotch is, I'm gonna start to bring in just the side of the body. Let me see. That's kind of where the hips are. So wait, let me see. So the stomach is here. Hips are here. The crotch is then here. Let me figure out where the abs are. Abs are somewhere here. Crotch is there. So the leg is going to be coming out slightly, as we can see by the reference. Now I'm gonna bring this in. We're just gonna bring this up, and then we're gonna bring this around. This is going to be where the abs are. Again, this is coming up, so this leg is going to be here. We're probably going to be bringing so again, hip bone here, then the leg is going to come out, or I guess the butt. And then we're just going to wrap it around downwards. Let me see, I'm going to just do this. Something like that. This leg is looking wonky because it's starting to bend inwards. It's not supposed to do that. So let me bring that back out. Let me bring this out as well. Let me see. So the butt is coming from here, so we're probably going to be wrapping there, and then, so probably around there is where the actual leg should be. This leg is looking short, isn't it? It's a pretty short leg. Let me make it larger by just, adding extra lines. Don't need to be precise. Now, the belly button's probably there. The actual shoulder is here because the hand is on the hip right here. So let me see. This is about where the hand is, or what the hand is doing, kind of. We can imagine that's where. So right here is kind of where the wrist should be. There is an issue you kind of run into sometimes when you're learning from an artist, is that, what the artists do, what an artist does is simplify a lot of shapes and a lot of things. And sometimes, of course, the artist isn't anatomically correct or anything like that. So, it could be very difficult and you can get a lot of inaccuracies. So it's recommended a lot of the time to just copy from like an actual real model, at least just to get the basis of like the basics down of the human forms. I think that is important. Let me see. I'm gonna bring the finger in. I'm just gonna start to let go a little bit. I think I got stuck with trying to let me see. I got stuck with trying to be a little bit too faithful to the reference. I think that is what is slowing me down. We're already 5 minutes in. By the way, if you like the video, like it, I guess, and subscribe. There, look, I'm getting better at those. And comment too. But yeah, the reason I slowed, like, you see how long it took for me to like even get to this point. I usually can do it faster. That's because I was trying to stick to the reference more, which is good for learning, but I kind of just, and I am trying to learn, but there's only a specific part of the body I'm trying to learn here, which is the abs / the, front part of the body. So I didn't need to put that much stock into the rest. At least it wasn't as important. I'm going to now bring in the chest, so we can kind of imagine that the chest is going there and then there. We can't really see, but we can sort of pick out the shape for the reference, from the reference. Her hand is on something in the reference. Do we want to keep that same thing? I don't know. It's not that important to me to keep the hand there. Should I not? I guess I can. I can do it. Fine. Well, should I? Fine. What's the hand on? Who knows? Or elbow on. What's the elbow resting on? We don't know. It's off screen. A great technique, to be honest. Everyone likes to put things that they don't want to render off screen. I mean, this character is in a blank like background, so of course probably just not even resting on anything. I don't know if the artist had anything in mind. I'm just gonna bring the fingers in and okay, there. Of course I did the hand position is different than the reference, but that's fine. Just because I want to change it up. Now, let me see. So, for the reference, for what the artist did is they brought the ribs are kind of coming in here. If you can see on the reference, the light is catching on this area. So, the abs are coming in and here, and then it's interacting with the ribs, which is catching light, but it's also like shading right here because the light source coming from the top left. Interesting. I do like to observe this type of stuff. It's important to do that too. It's not even a like. It's important. That way you can pick out these little shortcuts just so your mind can remember it, so you can render faster when you're finishing a piece and stuff. Let me bring in the actual face. Let me see. I think, yeah, I'll just do that character. Just because I've already done her today. This is just a character that I normally draw in OC, I guess. So, just picking her because she's like in my mind, her design, at least for like her hair and stuff and her face. So, okay, let me bring in her nose. I'm gonna have her looking down over here. If I can try and get her to look at the camera, that'd be great. Okay, it's about to be 10 minutes, so it's a pretty good time. She's not really gonna have a facial expression. She doesn't normally, so okay. Let me bring in the folds for her, I guess, eyelids, her eyebrows, her hair. Okay, that's pretty good. Bring out her hair. Her hair is kind of spiky. Oh, you know what? I said that. It's kind of spiky, but that's only in that one uniform. Her hair should be... And also her hair should be longer. So probably about this long, to be honest. I messed up slightly, but it's cool. It kind of looks slightly intentional, doesn't it? Nah, not really. Kind of. Maybe not. Okay. I'm gonna actually... I think I should increase the size of her leg. And... so about that much, I think. We kind of already messed up, but it's fine. I think that method of going about art is probably a good one. That way you don't get stuck on things. So right there, and then so that's really there, and then I'm gonna just bring in the clothes. Because the hips are coming towards us, so if we can imagine that the hips are here, we can imagine that the hips are some sort of like doing this shape towards us. Like, so we're underneath the hips, or in a kind of way. We could yeah, we're underneath the hips. So the hips are doing this type of thing. So we should be able to see underneath from this perspective. I'm saying that to say, when we're bringing in the clothes, it's going to be wrapping like this rather than the other way. So like the way that I was doing where it's curving this way, that's probably wrong. I should probably do it like this, that way. It looks more correct. I don't want it to be too messy though, so I'm gonna bring that in like that. I'll give her shorts. I think shorts will work. I'm not really focusing that deeply on the actual clothes. You know, it's not really important. Like I said, I'm really here for the stomach. So I can get better at that. Gonna bring in where the belt would go. I don't even know, what are these things called? The area where the belt goes into, the loops, the belt hoops, is that what they're called? I guess they're just called something simple like that, belt rings, or... So that I'm gonna have her short stop there. Bring in the seam. I think those are seams, right? Yeah. I'm gonna bring in the seam. I think is there one on the inner thigh? Yes, there is. Right here. So there should be one there too. And I'm just gonna bring in the button. Okay, cool. Now for her top, I could do like a crop top or a sports bra or something like that. I think a sports bra might work. Something like that. And then I'm gonna put that in, then like that, and then like that. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna pass it over to my voiceover just so this video doesn't get too long, so I can time lapse it for the rest. It's just gonna be, you know, minor differences. I mean, minor things like shading and stuff, which, this isn't a shading video. I don't know if you guys want that, but yeah, so I'll see you guys, you know, when I see you. Obviously, what am I talking about? Voiceover now. All right, so for the rest of this video, I'm just gonna be shading and stuff, and coloring in. So I think I colored her sports bra, and then I colored her shorts. So I did blue because I like this blue, and then for her shorts, I was like, okay, I could do another blue, or I could do I can just shade it in with normal color. But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do purple. I haven't done purple in a while, especially for like pants or anything like that. So I was like, yeah. You can see here I'm adding in the folds with the pen. You know, I'm not a professional at folds, especially pant folds at all. So, you know, any practice I get is probably good. One day I'll do like an entire, well, I actually put my head down and do some actual practice where I focus basically entirely on like just clothing. I don't like, but yeah. So here I'm doing the shading for the arm and stuff. Also added this like yellow trim for where the pants comes up. There's this area on the forearm where it like squishes and you can have some shading. So that's what I did right here. If you'll see, I'm gonna come back over there and add some shading right there. That I don't know if I did it properly, but it looks mostly all right. I think it's a little bit wrong. One day I'll get it right too. So yeah, I'm just going around the outer edges before I get to the stomach. The stomach is really the important part of the drawing. That's really what I was focusing on. So here I am doing it now. The actual art has this area where you can see like the, I don't know what that area, I guess where the abs meet, or perhaps, I don't know, what is that V shape happening at the bottom? What is that called? I have no idea. Now, I don't actually know the proper name for it. So here you can see me adding in the forms. I added some extra shading right here, compared to what the actual reference image has, but I don't know, I think the extra shading gives a little bit more, it makes it more interesting just to look at. So, and I've seen a stomach, like an actual stomach with that. So that's what I'm using to reference, or that's what I'm like referring back to whenever I do that extra like detailing and forms on the stomach. Here I'm just adding in the leg. I think the legs are the weakest part of the drawing. It was always the weakest part, is like from the start, but yeah, I could have done better here. I think so. I don't know what I actually don't. I think the right one or the left one starts too low. You know, on the right for us, our right. Here I'm adding in the hair. I think I just color in her hair. I gave her blue highlights instead. Usually she has like this turquoise type of, you know, greenish blue highlights, but for this one I just added in some blue. I do like this blue. This is probably my favorite. No, is it really my favorite blue? It might be. This is my favorite blue to like go with other colors, like black or anything else. It's my favorite blue to go with black. Yeah. And then that blue for her bra is my favorite blue, just in general. Is that light blue? I actually don't know what type of blue that is. It could just be light blue, but it looks a little bit more tropical. Whatever that means. Actually, you know what? I think the worst part is actually the shading I did on the bra. I don't know. It looks too messy now. I could have done a more uniform type of shading, but it looks all the lines create a lot of noise in the image. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching the video, and I guess I'll see you guys in the, well, you know, next video. I'll probably be doing 3 today, so goodbye. Oh yeah, this was not in night, like this was not the video of the night, but yeah, anyways, goodbye.